Hey there, planner and journal peeps. My name is Susie, and welcome to my channel, The Jellyfish Journals. I wanted to do my best to create a real-time video for you so that you could see just how long it takes me to do one of these journal pages. Unfortunately, this one ended up being about 48 minutes long, and I just cannot wrap my head around that being an acceptable length of time for a single layout, which is why normally my videos have 3 layouts in a 30-minute spread. But what I decided to do is I only sped this up to 1.5 times speed, so just a little bit faster than normal. And that jumped it down to about 30 minutes. I think I had to edit a little bit out where I apparently walked away from my desk to look for a sticker book for almost a full 2 minutes or something like that. So the timing might not add up properly, but roughly a couple minutes were edited out just for that. And like I said, I sped it up to 1.5 times. Pardon me. In this layout, I wanted to try out some of this animal print origami paper. So I had another spread, I don't know if I've posted it or not yet, where I had some origami paper. I was on Facebook Marketplace, and there was a lady in my area that was selling a really huge book of origami paper for, I think it was like $10. And I looked it up on Amazon, and it was normally selling for, I think, like $50. So I figured it was kind of a steal. And I went ahead and met her and bought it, and it's perfect condition. There's tons of each sheet. I think like 12 of each sheet. Lots of different designs in it. It's a huge booklet. I'll link it down in the description box below. But the idea behind using origami paper is that it's quite a bit thinner than your typical scrapbook paper, and definitely thinner than cardstock. So the idea is that you can utilize it or use origami paper a little bit more in your notebook without over thickening it up or thickening it up too much. And I figured I'd go ahead and give that a try here. I am not normally an animal print person. I think animal print is beautiful, but I kind of prefer it on the animals. Not to like hint at any political views or anything there. It's so pretty to look at, but I'm an animal nut. I love animals of all kinds, except for grasshoppers. I absolutely hate grasshoppers. I cannot stand them. But really, any creepy, crawly insect, reptile, any of those kinds of things don't bother me at all. My first job was actually working at a pet store, and I was in heaven. I loved it. People brought in all kinds of crazy pets, and it was just such a fun job. Even though my first part of the job when I was in high school was scooping out all the dead fish out of the aquariums at the end of the night, even that didn't really bother me, except I was sad that all the little fishies died. Anyway, I thought this print was just beautiful. I really like a good leopard print. Again, it's not me to like wear leopard print or own things with leopard print on them, but I thought it would really kind of break up all the florals going on in my journal. It's really easy to, I don't want to say get in a rut, but a lot of sticker books have florals in them, or a lot of sticker books have hearts in them, and similar type themes. And so it's kind of easy to start flipping through your journal and notice that every page has florals, or every page is full of quotes, or that kind of thing. So I just thought, this is definitely out of my comfort zone. I don't have any sticker books with animal print in them. There was no chance this was going to be duplicated anywhere in this notebook at all. So, oh, pardon me. I don't know what that was. Pardon me. Sorry, guys. I just got off work, and I've been teaching all day, and I think my throat's just a little bit dried out. Sometimes I feel like no matter how much water I drink, I can't seem to kick that dry throat feeling. But Anyway, I went ahead and laid down some thin black washi tape. I believe I got it at Hobby Lobby, might have been Michael's. And just to kind of break up some sections that I could journal in or put to-do lists, things like that. And I wanted to be sure that the washi tape looked like it was running underneath the paper. So that's why I sort of planned that part of the journal out first. I didn't want both sides of the journal page to just be broken up into 3 sections. I did a spread like that recently, and I just thought it made it a little more visually interesting if the right side of the spread, boy, that is really shaky. Sorry, guys. If the right side of the spread had those 3 sections, but that I did something a little different on the left. And so that's why you see the 2 horizontal sections for journaling along the top and the bottom, but that mid section there, I broke up into 2 vertical sections. So I tore the cheetah paper, and if you notice, I'm always pretty careful about which direction I tear the paper. I don't quite know how to explain it, but if you've ever torn paper, you might notice that sometimes a little white edge comes along with it. If you don't want that white edge, try flipping the paper over and tear it again. I think it has to do with which hand tears towards you and which hand tears away from you versus which side of the paper you're tearing on. So for me, I think I tend to tear towards me with my right hand and away from me with my left hand. Yeah, there I go. So if you flip the paper backwards, you can avoid that little white strip. Pardon me again. Or if you want the white strip, you can go ahead and make sure that white strip is there. I think I noticed it was there, and so I'm trying to clean it up a little bit. Sometimes I forget which direction to go. See, I'm checking that. And I might have just pulled it a little too quickly. But there is a way to avoid that. And yeah, there it is. I did not want that white on there. Sometimes the white is a little nice gap between the torn edge and the page, especially if your page is a different color or you're layering papers on top of each other. But for this one, it really wouldn't have made much of a difference except where the paper lays on top of that black washi. Then you would have seen that little bit of white poking through. And it's one of those silly little things. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme and the final look of it. But I am a little bit of a perfectionist with this. And I will say, there's nothing wrong with that. I've seen some YouTube videos lately that I've actually really, truly enjoyed. But there's an implication out there that people like me who create YouTube videos make everything look perfect just for our viewers. And I can strongly attest that I've been a perfectionist with this kind of thing way before I ever even considered having a YouTube channel. I remember probably, 6 years or so ago when I had a happy planner, my first happy planner. And I wasn't on Instagram at first with that. In the very beginning, I just did it on my own. But I was obsessed with sticking my boxes down as straight as absolutely possible. So I think all those lines in the Happy Planner vertical planner, they were amazing because it helped me get things as straight as I could. But if a box was crooked, I would peel it up over and over and over until it was either not sticky anymore, in which case I had to glue it back down, or until the sticker ripped, which was always unfortunate. I was just as slow in my Happy Planner journal because of things like that as I am in this journal. And same thing. It's very, I don't want to say it's frustrating. I look at other people's journals and I'll be honest, I do notice things like that if stickers are crooked and things. It It would bother me if it was my journal. I don't really care what other people decide that they want to do in their own journals, but if it was in my journal, it would really, really frustrate me to see that every time I turned to it. When I bullet journaled a little bit after that, I was so particular about my lines and the things I was drawing, and if things were straight, and if things, if the marker shading was even. And it, I guess, the frustrating part of it is that it does slow me down. But in truth, if it's my journal, and if it brings me joy to make things look as straight as I possibly can, then who cares? It's my journal. I much rather have straight lines. I'd much rather have everything stuck down. And I just want to be very clear. I don't do that for anybody watching my channel. I do that for me. That's how I like it, and that's how I do it. And pardon me, my goodness, I'm so sorry. I don't do that for anybody else. So you might see me put things down. You might see me take forever to put a sticker down, or check things and measure things and do things over and over and center them. And please just know that is authentically me, 100%. I make anchor charts at school for my classroom, and I do the same thing. I will spend forever making an anchor chart because I like things straight. When my class and I create an anchor chart together, I rough it out on the whiteboard and we decide what we want it to say as a class. And then I usually put it together after class so it's ready the next day, because that's just how my brain functions. So once I looked at the origami paper, the leopard print paper, I realized the white dot grid pages of the notebook, they just weren't working for me. I don't know what it is. They're just so white, I think. It didn't flow for me with the black lines of the washi and then the really white paper. So I found a Tombow marker that I thought went pretty well with the cheetah paper. And cheetah or leopard, I think it's leopard. I feel like cheetah spots are a little more spread out than that. But I went ahead and just took a Tombow marker and I striped or colored in that box that you see me putting the sticker on. I went ahead and did that vertically since the box was vertical. And you'll see I do the same thing to the box on the left of it. And the other boxes, since those boxes run horizontally, I'll use that Tombow marker horizontally. And here you can see me being a little bit of a perfectionist and straightening and straightening. And again, that's just me. I do the same thing off camera, I promise you. I found that sticker book at Hobby Lobby. If you noticed it a minute ago, whoop, I guess something was wrong with it. Here I go. Seriously, again, it slows me down, but in the end, nothing distracts my eyes. So it's all a happy trade-off for me. Anyway, I found that sticker book at Hobby Lobby. It's one of their recollections sticker books, I think. Yeah. Oh, Agenda 52. There it is. And it's funny because the outside of it is all like mushrooms and butterflies and nature things. And I grabbed it because I liked all the neutral, like browns. I think there's a lot of olive greens and blacks and grays in it. And I flipped through it just to see what brown stickers were there. And it has a lot of really dark brown stickers. So they sort of resonate as black in this video, but they're definitely a very dark brown. And I just love that. I love the different colors there with the black washi, the light brown Tombow marker, and then the dark brown stickers. I just really love how it kind of brings in all of those three colors of the cheetah print. And I decided over there on the right that it just needed a little more cheetah print in there. Having it just on the top and the bottom was, I guess, not interesting enough for me. I'm not really sure. I just thought a little more cheetah print. If you're going for it, go for it, right? So I just stuck a little bit more there in the middle, and I'm trimming things down a little. I think I decided that I really wanted that washi stripe that runs vertically right there under my ruler. I wanted that to run all the way across the top. I think originally I just wanted it to kind of separate the left-hand side from the right-hand side, so those boxes were very distinctive, like the size of those top and bottom boxes. And once I looked at it with that washi or with the origami paper over it, I just decided I really like the idea of it being visible all the way across the top and the bottom. So, of course, that had some sort of issue. I don't know if I cut the washi. I probably cut the washi. So sticking a little bit more black washi down there just to kind of fix that mistake. And I just like how that looks a lot better. I like how each box is pretty clearly defined, with the exception of the openness on the right-hand side and the top and bottom on the left-hand side where it runs off the page. Yeah, so you can see this sticker book is just full of beautiful neutrals. Mostly it's that mushroom foresty nature theme, but there are a lot of really nice dark brown stickers in there. And I decided I was just going to keep digging. So like this sheet right there is all dark brown. But I am also a sticker book flipper. I will go through a sticker book over and over and over. It's almost like my brain needs to see it once to see what might be in there. Then I look again to see if I was right, if I did see things I'd like. Then let's flip through it a third time and see what might actually work. And hey, let's look a fourth time for something I actually need. Love you. Sorry, my daughter just popped in to say goodbye. She's heading to her dad's for a couple days. So anyway, now you can see I start going back through with that Tombow marker and just starting to fill in all of those boxes, the white space with that Tombow marker. And definitely liking how that looks a little bit more. Part of me almost wishes I'd gone through and just kind of markered all the boxes at the same time and then kind of stepped back and looked at the spread. It's a little funny to me that I actually approached it this way, looking at it back now while I'm doing this voiceover. So here I go, starting to fill in some of those other boxes. And you can see on the left there, those stickers, I feel like they kind of look a little burgundy-ish for some reason, but they're just that same dark brown. So I just put a little bit of a decoration, one of those dark brown flowers right there at the bottom, on the bottom right section. And now I'm just going through and I'm adding those the rest of the Tombow marker in there. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there for a second. So when I was creating this spread, my really good friend Amanda was over, and she is new to journaling, and so she was sitting at the end of my table while I was recording this. And if you notice I ever like stop for a minute and don't do anything, I'm probably checking what she's doing. She's kind of a natural. She jumped right into it and she's already got like a pretty great eye for it. But one of the things she had told me before was that she had hoped that she could, you know, learn to journal like this, I think, with paper and stickers and all the things. And so she came over and we were working on that together, but every so often she would ask me to stop and see what I thought of something or where I thought a sticker should go. And I mean, mostly the tips that I had for her was balance is a really big thing, in my opinion. If you have something dark on the left side, you want something dark on the right side. If you have a lot of pink on the left side, then you might want to bring some pink on the right side. And same for top and bottom. So if I had only put the cheetah paper, the leopard print paper at the top of the right side, it might have just looked a little off balance, maybe a little top and left heavy. So putting it at the bottom also kind of weighs down that paper a little bit visually so that it's a little more balanced. And you can see that I kind of did that too with that little floral at the top in the box on the top right. I went with a chunkier flower sticker, so it's a larger flower sticker in the middle box on the right for that same reason, for that balance. I really wanted to not have everything fall on the left side of the page I'm working on right now. And with the two floral stickers and the cheetah print all on that left side, it would have felt really heavy down the center of the journal there. So I added a thicker, fuller sticker, larger sticker over to the right side just to add that visual balance. You'll see me do the same thing here. I have a little oval sticker. I was going to say ovular, but I'm not sure that's actually a word. And I put one down at the bottom on the left, so I put the other one at the top on the right, because if I put it on the top left, then that left side would have ended up feeling heavier than the right again. So my biggest tip usually for anybody who's doing this is just to watch the balance. When it's all said and done and you've finished a spread, I think you're more likely to be happy with what you've done if there is that sense of balance now there. And I will say there is something to be said for an intentionally chaotic look. I've done that myself before, where sometimes you just want a page to look kind of helter-skelter. Maybe that's how you're feeling. Maybe you just need to break up all the symmetry or break up all the balance happening on your other pages. And that can be a lot of fun too. But a lot of times even that is done with some intentionality. So I know people who do junk journaling. If you ever watch those videos, you'll see there's thought behind where they put everything. They're not just sticking things down anywhere they want to. There's some thought behind it. And I think there's a lot of value in taking the time to think those things through. So here you'll see what I mean, where the vertical boxes, I went with vertical stripes, and the horizontal boxes, I went with horizontal stripes. Most of the time, the streaks where the marker overlaps drives me absolutely crazy, but I think because there's consistency to it across the whole spread, it doesn't bother me much in this one. I think also because the animal print paper has that wild vibe, then it, kind of outdoorsy, naturey. It kind of reminds me of straw or grass or something of that nature. I mean, maybe that's putting a little bit of too much of a stretch on it, but I really do like the way the stripes ended up looking when the marker went over it that way. So again, back to some balance. Here's another larger floral sticker. I'm going to go ahead and stick that down right there. And that kind of goes along with the other larger floral sticker on the other side. I don't want that to be the only large floral sticker I use. I'm also realizing there's a little bit of irony there in me talking about how most of my spreads are floral, so I went with an animal print, and then guess what? I bring in some floral stickers. I don't want to seem hypocritical there, but these brown floral outlines were just so perfect, and obviously animals are connected to nature, so I think if there had been something else that wasn't floral, like, I don't know, maybe butterflies or just leaves or something of that nature, I might have tried that. But most of what was in there, so the butterflies on that other page you saw, those were actually black outlines. They didn't have the dark brown. And I really liked pulling that dark brown element in. I think a dark brown Tombow marker would have been too dark for a lot of things, and so I just think it kind of broke it all up a little bit to use the brown stickers. Plus that light brown marker shows through them because of the clear backing on the sticker, which I think really adds to the lightness of them, I guess. So now I've got some little bullet points. They're not really half circles. They're almost like if you have those pills that you take that have the capsules with the two ends. They're kind of that shape, like one of those ends. I have no idea what that shape is called, which is probably sad. It's not quite a half circle. But I'm going ahead and adding some bullet points to that side. So these stickers aren't as visually heavy as the large dark brown sticker just to the right of them. However, once I go through and I add my to-do things and the black pen is on the page, it will visually weigh down the look of the entire layout. So like I said, you want to think about balance top to bottom. You want to think about balance left to right. If you really want to think about balance, you can even think diagonally left to right, top to bottom. But I also try to think, what do I think my spread will look like when it's all filled out and finished? And so at the end of this video, I will include a quick after the pen walkthrough so that you'll see what I mean regarding that visual balance at the end of it. So once I've got everything filled out in pen, you'll see what I mean about being mindful of where I have more room to write, where I have less room to write, and how all that plays out at the very end. So you'll notice I just left a little gap there between the bullet points, and I just thought it would be kind of pretty to break up that little space with a little floral, just to bring some into that box, since just about every other box has one of those dark brown florals. And this sticker book had a couple of smaller ones that I just thought would look kind of pretty right there. I will also say I do my bullet point lists and the sticker to the right of this box that I'm working in. I have no idea what I'm going to write in those things when I put them down. So you'll see I have that rest and relax sticker at the bottom and an errand sticker at the top left or top right. I had no plans for any of that. I put those things down, and the way I plan and journal, I will just make sure that if I have an errand, that's where I write it, because that's what the sticker says and that's where the sticker is. It might not be the most efficient for everybody. For example, if you've got small children, or you've got a lot of doctor's appointments for yourself, or you have a very busy job with a lot of meetings or a lot of travel, then you might want the kind of planner or journal where you write things down or put stickers down because you know what's going to happen. You know you have doctor's appointments on Thursday, so you put stickers down that say doctor appointment or appointment. I just don't roll that way very well. I will say I work full time. I teach third grade, and I have 4 kids, but 2 of them are off in college, and the other 2, I'm a co-parent. I'm divorced. And so my other 2 kids are at their other parents every other week. And so I do have a bit of time and a bit of flexibility in how I schedule my day once I'm home from work. Sometimes I'll know of an appointment coming up, and that's usually when I put it in my calendar spread for my monthly plans and things like that. But for the most part, I just kind of back journal. I might write down some things I know that are coming up if I'm ahead of the game enough, but for the most part, I will just sit back and fill this in based on what's happening currently. All right, so here is my after the pen. And so hopefully you can see what I mean a little bit about that balance and about kind of thinking about where my journaling and to-do planning and where my writing was going to go on this spread. So you can see here, this was the 26th of December. And this was our Christmas because our kids were at their other parents on Christmas Day. And again, I didn't know what else to put here, so I fill in a space with just a little Christmas tree drawing. I've got that to-do list right here. I got everything done except for one little thing. And I decided to turn this into a shopping list. So I did have to go to Michael's over my holiday break, and I just kind of wrote down some of the things I wanted to make sure that I got when we went to the store. Did a little journaling down here, some more journaling over here, which it kind of ran over into this page, but you can see here I did the 28th and the 29th. Since I'm on winter break, a lot of times the days just sort of run into each other. And then up here, just another quick little to-do list. We were giving my younger daughter's bedroom a makeover. That was her Christmas present, and so we had a lot of little to-dos that needed to be done. But this is pretty much how I utilized this spread. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.